Hey guys, so welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So I'm in the backyard, I'm barbecuing, I'm enjoying this beautiful weather today. And I said, let's do my wrap up because I do not plan on reading any more books for the month because there's so much going on in June. So if you haven't, Caribbean is in June. Go check out the video, and I will be doing a whole lot of Caribbean video and a lot more video in June. So I decided to take the next 2 days off, or 3 days, to just plan and have those videos starting to roll. So let's talk about what I read in May. May was a really good reading month. I had a few, well, really one book that was just like what, but for the most part I had books that I know are going to most likely make it on my top 10 by the end of the year, especially one of them where I will be talking about. Now, I read different genres, so I was kind of fortunate in that. So let me just get the one genre which I read on ebook, which is a romance, which is Gold, and this is by Alexander House. Figure get that out of the way. Everything else is physical. So this is a romance I thought was really a good one to read between some of the heavy books that I was reading, and it was just a beautiful story of what could have been not so great, where you have a nanny and a hockey player, but the author did a good job of telling the story where it's not going to creep you out. You're just thinking of it as they were meant to be, and how the romance happened. It was well written, and I love that she is branching into the hockey sports romance, because she did the basketball, but I think because especially you don't really get romance with black characters who play hockey, so I thought that was kind of like cool that she's going in it. It is a series. I don't know when the excuse me, I don't know when the other ones are coming out, but I'm excited for it and I'm here for it. So let's get into the books. So we're gonna start with the May pick. This is the one book I did not review, and this is the May pick that was selected. I put the name here because I kind of forgot who it was, but I put the name here of who selected this, and this is How to Breathe Underwater, Julie Oringer, and I absolutely was not enjoying the first two stories, where I was like, what am I reading? The first two stories was just didn't do it for me, but I'm glad I pushed because there were some good ones. I love Isabel Fish. That was the third story, and that's when I realized, okay, I'm out. This is gonna be good, because it was just like the first one to really like grab me and made me really want to keep turning the pages. Then it got even better when she got to Note Sixth Grade Self. Oh yeah, this one gave me nostalgic, and at the same time I love how I'm realizing the theme, because it really is surrounding youth, innocence, dark things that happen. Some are dark, some are not so great, family drama, but it does surround a youthful age group in all these stories. Then we got to The Smoothest Way is Full of Stone, and this one I scratched my head because of the ending. I was like, what? It was one of those where I had questions, and I thought about this one a lot when I was done, because I was like, this one, it really is giving the innocence loss, and the things that we learn, and the things that sometimes our parents think they're protecting us from, but not really. That's that one. And then we have Care, and Care did freak me out a bit, but at the same time there's something about it I thought was special. Then we have Stars of Motown, Shining, 5 stars. 5 stars. That short story was absolutely good. I was here for that one. And then we have What We Save, and I thought that one was a bit sad, but also I do like how it ended. And then the last one is Station of the Cross. Wow. Is all I have to say about that one. That one toys with religion, and as a kid, where you are raised in one religion but you have friends who are from another religion, and how there's things that you appreciate about that foreign religion, but it goes against your own family, but you don't understand because that in reality you are just born into the religion, but you have not accepted that religion as your own. So there's that confusion that goes on. It reminded me, it was a moment when I think about my cousin who was a different religion from the household I was raised in, and he wasn't supposed to eat certain things, and sure enough he was. He didn't know any better. And when we were older we can talk and laugh about stuff like that, but younger we didn't understand. We all eating the same thing. He's gonna eat what we eat, and that was the end of that. So that was something when you think about, when I thought about the story, I thought about that. Also family secrets, and in this you get a lot of family secrets that I thought was interesting. But what I'm gonna say is the author selected the best cover and the title for this short story collection. It was very much focused on a theme that made sense. The stories all are different, but still within the theme. And I like when short story collection is well rounded, and this is what you get from this. But look at the cover, guys. Look, it's so retro, and think of summer, because this is very much a summer short story collection. I think this is perfect for summer. You get the lake playing in the river, you get the stream, you get the going on your bicycle and riding all day, all even. You get the stuff you shouldn't be doing that your parents think they're protecting you from. This was good. This was good. You guys have really haven't disappointed me, because with the exception of 2 stories in this is really good. I still would give this a 4-star, because the other stories were just amazing and made up for the first 2 that wasn't my favorite. But I would say thank you for recommending this. Yeah. So then I went to the classic, which is Little Women, and I picked this up, and this is the revision. This is the revision I tell you not to get, because it's only part 1, but this is a collectible, so I'm okay with this. I just wish it was the entire story, but I did read the entire story, the second half on my Kindle. Still looking for a nice revision that's going to be pretty, that has everything. Absolutely love this. Why didn't I read this earlier? I watched the movie several times, and now that I read it, the movie makes so much sense. And you think of these 3 women who are making it. Their father's off at war, their mother is trying, money is not as feasible as before, and some sisters have higher taste, some don't. And you have the older sister who is a bit of a rebel, but she also has she's very passionate, and she's writes. And you get this different take of the sisters and how their life pan out, and tragedy, and how they cope. But there's that love and that support that they each have. So I was here for it. Go check out my review, so where I talk more in detail. But this is definitely a classic that I think everybody should read. And as an adult, I still really appreciate it even more. And I think this is one of the ones, if I read this as a child, I probably wouldn't have loved it as much. And wouldn't understand it as much, but I think I appreciate it so much as an adult, and this is just like, this is definitely a treasure, and I love that I read it. And the reason why I read Little Women was because of this one, which is Hello Beautiful, and this is Anne Palatino Tano. Yeah. Anyway, so this is Oprah selected this, and it's an homage to Little Women. But this one, this is the feel-good book. This is the messy sister story, and I thought this was interesting because you get to see each character from Little Women. Like, you can point out who is the Joe, you can point out the Beth, the Mag, the Amy, you can point them out. And in this, you get those characters, but she did something different with them, where the storylines is a little bit more not that great in terms of the messy things that happen. So I didn't love it as much as Little Women, but I do appreciate the author's way of telling this story. But it also like the fact that she kept it authentic, because this is set in the 80s, which is now considered historical fiction. Yeah. But so when you think of mental health, when you think of sexuality, and what people can do who are a part of the queer what is the word I'm looking for? People who are queer, who what they thought they could and couldn't do. Um, we know that's not true anymore, but this was set in the 80s, so there's certain things about this. I love the art part of this story. I love the, the the how death is used and grief is used in this story. It is sad that it took grief and all that for certain things to turn around in this, but it was like it was okay. It was for me. It was like a 3-star book. I didn't love it as much as Little Women, but I do like the creativity that the author took from Little Women to create this story. Then we have another one from John Steinbeck, Mice and Men. Wow. This short book was just, he's what can we say about John Steinbeck? This is my 3rd book from the author, and he has yet to disappoint me. This book really had the best writing. They're very descriptive. Like, I felt like I could see and imagine the environment that they were in. I get the metaphor and how sad it is in when you think of your dreams and your goals, and there's something in the way that you love and cherish and want to protect, and there's that whole protection where you get with these 2 men, and you have one who's just the dreamer and wants this, and you have the other one who a giant and has the mind of a child and don't know quite how to control himself, and gets often do things that is harmful and cause. Yeah, I'm out here in nature, guys. I don't know what that sound was. Yeah, we got bears, so I gotta make sure I look. Anyway, he does things that's harmful, and then each time it defers his dream. It defers one character's goal, and but there's ultimate that decision that you have to make of how to let it go, and how it's done in this is very dramatic. But I get the metaphor of this, and I really enjoy this. I thought it was just like absolutely great, and I do recommend this classic. Yeah, and it's short, guys. It's short, but there's just so much you can talk about. You could really have a serious discussion about this book, because there's so many different things that was happening. But I love how it was told, and I love how you were able to really dig and analyze this book. And then, ooh, well, and then we have, this is The Street and Peachy, and this is a masterpiece. What was I waiting on this long? This is one of those books that people tell me I need to read, and I keep putting it off, and now I'm like, wow, absolutely amazing. This is one of those stories that you do have to pay attention and really take the author's yeah, the pollen is slowly killing me, guys. Oh my god, I wore a mask earlier when I was cleaning up, but I guess not. It's, yeah, let's get through this video. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let's sorry about that. Anyway, so this is a story that she's taking you on this journey. She is giving you things that when you finish the book, you're going to reflect back on those things that you thought was like, why and how we get into this, because it all made sense. It all built up to the end that was very dramatic, that was very heartbreaking, that was very much me screaming and like, wow, but also me getting it and me thinking about the story after. I mean, we're talking days later. I'm still thinking about the story. I'm thinking about the characters, but I'm also thinking about it in a sense of how it reflects the time and how it reflects the struggle. And you think of a period of time where you have black men that weren't getting any jobs and they weren't working, and they felt less than. So women were either a part of their pain or a part of their pleasure. And you have women who often wanted to be the man to step up and do what they have to do, but they did not have a choice. They have kids, they have to take care of their kids, so they have to do whatever sacrifice. So oftentimes they take jobs that were so domestic and not the greatest pay, and in circumstances that weren't good. Then they have to think about how they're living, and they're living in apartments that was just filled with people with a lot of problems. And in this case, you get that with the main character who is in this apartment with her son, and these different people in the apartment that you're learning about, and the dark things that's happening, and how she's just trying to survive, and her trying to survive also may have contributed to her son's decisions. And it's just so much that happened in this that you feel for her, and you understood that decision that she had to make ultimately, that any person in that situation should have to, but it is what it is. It's reality. It's a case of you have to survive, so you have to do that. And so this is not one of those easy read in terms of, it's just like, you read and then you just move on to the next book. This is one of those that you will have that moment of thinking about the character and wanting to know what else, because it's that open ending, because you really don't know what else. And you kind of felt like she could have continued on and give you more, but I think there's the purpose of ending it that way, of having that discussion, because in the back of the book she has like about 15 discussion questions that you can really have with this book. And I think that was the point. And when I tell you, I need to read all her books. I need to read all her books. That's how much this book is just a masterpiece. If you have not read this book, out of all the books I have, even though you should read pretty much Little Women and Of Mice and Men, but this book should definitely be on everybody's TBR. I don't care what genre of books you prefer. This is one of those classics that I think is worth the read, worth the discussion, worth just absorbing her words and the message. This is worth reading. So if you haven't picked it up, add that to your TBR. And then let's talk about the book that I didn't sign up for. This is another case of a book that has the catchy title, the amazing, gorgeous book, has been hyped up because it was nominated for a national award finalist last year. And so there's that thinking that it's going to be this way. And when you read a synopsis, it's giving you certain things that you expected, but when you read it, it is not. It is not the worst book ever. I think it still, for me, was a 3-star, and that because of the writing and because of the ending. I think the ending saved the book from this book not being tossed aside, because of the whole idea of, you get the aha moment of the character finding herself and having this loneliness, a feeling of loneliness, realizing that she has people who love her. She has people who care about her. There's people who are trying to understand her. So she was more so in her own way, being her worst enemy and having to deal with these feelings that she refused to get looked at. She should have been in counseling. She should have done a lot more. And this character is someone who's also dealing with the fact that she is in America alone. Her father was deported, so her mother left with her father. So she's alone. She doesn't have this fallback, but she still have friends. And even with the parents, there's still things that she did that you realize that it was all in her mind, in her head. There's that fear that she constantly have of being loved and being cared for. And she's dealing with also being the sexuality part, and she's selecting people who had rejected her. It's more like I want somebody who looks like the person who has rejected her. And when she do get that person, she didn't even know what to do with it. And so it was frustrating with this character to see her from the outside and not realizing that, you know, when I think about it, that there are people who are like her, who don't realize how much support they have, how much love is around them, and they don't know how to see it. They're so caught up in their own self-feeling of loneliness and not feeling loved that they don't realize that they are loved. So it is one of those stories that I got it. I just think that I didn't sign up for this. I think the synopsis needs to be redone because I felt like I was lied to. Yeah, so anyway, I survived, guys. I survived. Whew. I survived because this pollen is killing me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end this video here and try to enjoy as much of this outdoors as I can because pollen is killing me. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you read any of these, what you felt. Also, go ahead and check out my video so you can see what the book is for Curvathon, and there will be more videos, at least 2-3 videos per week in June. So come back and I'll see you in the next one.